What's up, guys? Got another Crowfall video for you today. This time I've got something exciting, and that is that patch 5.8 has hit the test realms. It is currently still being tested on the test realms, not the live realms, which means that they are testing it via snap tests, which means they go, hey, we're testing the game from 8 to 4, come help us break things. There's a lot of bugs and lag and intentional lag where the devs will just say, hey, spam powers and siege this thing so we can break the game. Things like that. So still very laggy, still very buggy. Don't expect polish. But I wanted to show you guys some of the features that have come with this patch because they are very exciting. First thing you're seeing here is the new login screen. You can choose your campaign or kingdom. This is where you would go to log into a campaign. There's currently not any up because they do this via snap testing right now. But here you can see the new character selection screen and what campaigns your characters are in. Right now these characters are unlocked, but here's where you would see a campaign. As you can see, Fireboy here is locked into War of Sorrow. Right now you can just willy-nilly take your characters in and out of campaigns, but in the full game, I would imagine that's not going to be the case. So here's the new character selection screen. Vessels are still in the game. This is just how you change vessels. You change vessels through this UI now, rather than through the way you did it with the crypt. This is a lot more friendly to new players. It's the stereotypical character creation screen. They added character customization options. Yeah, like here's one of my Myrmidons. Looks pretty dope. Really like the scars and stuff. They're still adding new character customization stuff to the game in terms of aesthetics. I think this is just the first pass, so yeah. Pretty cool. So here's, I think that's all I can really say about that. Here's where you can access your EKs. Got mine and my guilds right there. And the new skill tree. This is actually a pretty significant change that I really like. So there's less skill trees. There's no race tree, and there's no class tree. Now I like this. Now at the base level, it seems like that there's less customization, but that customization has been put into the talent trees, which we'll get into later. I like this because it means that you're not quite as specific. Let's say I'm a Templar player and I want to play a human Templar instead of an Elkin Templar. Now I can change from human to Elkin without feeling crappy because I've been training human for the last year and a half. So there's not as much specificity on that. And I think that's overall good for the game. I think it's good for the game to let people be able to re-roll, not painlessly. It's definitely not painless by any means, but you don't have like a giant hurdle of time to overcome like you did with the previous skill tree. And you still have that customization there just with the talent trees. All of those stats and things have been put into the talent tree instead, which you can change via new vessel, but you can change them. So I like that a lot. There are still specific training, like if you really want to be a badass Templar, you can still get a little bit of a bonus by doing the specific training. Like if I'm a Templar player and I train plate. Now, obviously, this plate training is not going to benefit me if I want to play assassin on this account. And same thing goes with the melee. If I train a two-handed weapon, that's not going to help me out on an assassin. But those are very, very minor in the grand scheme of things. And eventually, you're going to get both. Like, eventually, you're going to fill this stuff out to where, 2 years or a year down the road, or I don't know how long it's going to take, but you'll have what you want, and it won't be a big deal. So, I really like this change. What else on this screen? I think that's about it for this screen. Now, I can log into the game via an Eternal Kingdom. So I'm going to log into my Templar on my guild's EK. There's new loading screens now with Dave Greco's art that are pretty dope. Alright, slight change of plans. My Elkin Templar is bugged. The talents keep resetting. So I'm on my Nethari Templar. But don't worry, still show the same thing. Let's get into these talent trees. They are pretty wild. So the first thing you're going to notice when you log into the game for the first time is that you do not have any of your powers anymore. You learn your powers through the skill tree. So first talent you get as a Templar is Parry. You get the Righteous Stand ability. And as you go down the tree, you get more and more abilities. Reproach, Censure, Devotion, Divine Light up here. And you also unlock other stat things, 6% more crit, whatever. But you also unlock disciplines. You can choose whether to get major or minor disciplines. So this right here, let's say in the full game, I don't care about having 3 minor disciplines. I don't have to spec that. So that's a pretty cool choice. And in the full game, you will have to spec into your major disciplines, meaning Runecaster. I will not have all of Runecaster if I just pick up the major discipline. I'll have to spec into 1, 2, 3. You'll have to spec into the specific things of Runecaster. So let's say I want Runecaster, but I don't care about Fortification or Rune Shield. I can take Runecaster and only spec into Sanctuary. So that is a pretty significant change. Right now, that's not currently in the game. If you get a discipline, you have everything. But in the full game, or in, I guess, a more current, in the updated version of the game, whenever that comes out, that's how it's going to be. So these middle talents, a lot of these aren't really that great. I mean, you still have choices to make, what you want to pick up or not. Like, I didn't pick up this critical healing chance on my DPS Templar, but I do pick it up on my healing Templar. These middle talents, kind of, for most classes, they're not that significant. They still make a difference, but the real significance is in this final tree, this last part right here. So let's go over what the Templar's got. The Templar has a damage spec, a healing spec, a healing/tank spec, and a CC spec. So the overall how the damage spec works is that you basically, as you go through this tree, you are getting abilities that modify your fire damage bonus. Divine Light is your fire damage. Divine Light is considered fire damage. So this spec revolves around making your Divine Lights do a lot of damage, to the point to where your Divine Light, fiery, no, that's even more. See, all these plus fire damage talents, the tree is full of them. Now here it is, Blazing Light. So this is actually where you go all in and say, fuck it. Your Divine Light doesn't heal anymore, but it does way more damage. So that's kind of the idea here. Executioner, your execute is free. You can kind of see where this, this kind of stuff, it does a lot of damage. It's pretty wacky. But the crazy power is in this passive, Vindicator, which makes your slashing damage modified by your fire damage. So that's kind of the gist of this spec. I do have some footage with it, but it's not the greatest. You'll see. It's funny though. Now the Paladin spec, that is a spec that I really enjoy. It is just makes your heals crazy. The Paladin passive, if it'll click, come on, there we go. Every time you heal, anytime your heals hit somebody, you get 2% more healing critical chance. This stacks up like crazy fast in the right situations. And it leads to a lot of healing. And what's the other crazy bread and butter talent here? Holy Warrior cooldown. Where's it at? Where's that devotion? No. Here it is. Profound Devotion. So this spec allows you allows your devotion to heal for 50% of the damage you do. So the reason I like this spec is because in its perfect situation, like in a perfect situation, this Paladin spec is absurdly powerful, because Templars are it's a real feast or famine class, I would say. The Templar is probably the best way to categorize it. And with this Paladin build, if you're doing a lot of damage, you are doing a ton of healing, and you can do both with this spec. But the problem is that, the problem with the whole Templar class, right, is that it's great when it's great, but it's also the worst class in the game when it's not great. So, that's just how it is, though. The classes in this game aren't homogenized. I love the class. Templar is going to be something I main. Along with Myrmidon. Myrmidon is fucking cool, too, man. I really like the Myrmidon changes. So, this is the Paladin build. Is there anything of significance here? A lot of these are just general tankiness, general healiness, That's kind of the gist, right? The first row, DPS-oriented stuff. Second row, tanking, healy-oriented things. Third row, CC-oriented things. And this third spec is more CC stuff. I'm not in love with this passive here, Fury. I'm not in love with that one. But there are some absurdly powerful things in this tree. You can get a snare for Templars. A lot of Templars have been wanting a snare. You can get one on your execute. Pretty crazy. Let's see, what is it? I think it's a snare. No, it's a root. My bad. It's even better. It's a root. That's nasty. You can root somebody and divine light them? Ooh. Oh yeah, no, it gets even nastier than that. Just wait. Explosive light. Man, this, I have not seen anyone use this in game yet, but oh my god. Divine light knocks down everybody in it and dazes them? Bro, that is disgusting. And I don't know if daze still functions the way it used to, but daze is like a crazy snare that I don't think DRs, unless they changed it. That was last time it was like a really powerful CC. So anyway, what else? Yeah, Brilliance, another CC. Yeah, your Righteous Smash can slow people now. So you kind of get the idea, right? So these are the talent trees. I dig it. I dig it. This opens up a lot of options for the Templar. The Templar is a lot like the Myrmidon in this way, in that all the races I think are very well balanced. So I'm on Nithori right now, and that's not a race I would typically run. But check this out. This passive, this Vindicator passive that modifies my slashing damage by my fire damage. Check this out. So if I go here down to damage multipliers, you'll see that my, where's it at? Slashing damage is at 24 and my fire damage is at 18. So I can modify that with my Nithori racial, and a lot of people probably don't think about this because this is a new thing in the game. But Call Flames, a lot of Nithoris, a lot of the only Nithori you would see were Confessors because fire damage, makes sense. But this gives you a fire damage multiplier. So not, and on its own, that's not that great. That's not that great. Yeah, it makes your Divine Light hit a little harder, but Templars don't have that much fire damage. But with that passive, Paladin, or Vindicator, it's crazy. So I'm going to pop that, and you'll see this jump up to, I think it jumps up an even 10%. So my slashing should go to 34. So let's pop that. 7. And my slashing damage went up to 34. My fire damage went up to 28. So pretty wild, and that's also a AoE severe burn. So Nithori is a much more competitive race for Templar now. Templar, man, it's really up in the air. I think Nithori, if you want to go balls to the wall damage, is probably the way to go. But balls to the wall damage is not the best option. Not all. No, it's really not. I don't want to go off a tangent about this Merm DPS build, but anyone that's looked at that Merm DPS tree, whoa. I've got your million view idea right here. I want to see the first PvP video of somebody going DPS Merm with Nature's Avatar and like people just pocketing the shit out of them. Because that's like the biggest glass can I've ever seen. So I'm looking forward to seeing the crazy shit. These talent trees have just blown the game wide open in terms of just ridiculousness. So in terms of my build here, Runecaster is always a good choice. I think I was running Banshee for Angel of Death for the executes. And yeah, so all this stuff is still very much up in the air, but I think that's all I really want to talk about in terms of the talent trees. There's a lot to talk about, but I don't want to make this video too long, and I've got some gameplay footage, so let's get into that. Now let's get into the gameplay footage. I am playing the Paladin Healing Templar build, and I'm running around this fast because they've added in mount functionality to the game. Mounts, the visuals aren't in, but the functionality is, so everybody's just running around like a chicken with their head cut off. But we're going to run into this fort, and I'm going to be playing the tip of the spear role of Templar, where basically I'm going to run in and draw their fire and create space for my team. You can also play a Templar by hanging back and protecting your backline from like flankers, stealthers, whatever with Divine Light. In this case, I'm going to run in and be the guy that eats all the CC, gets things thrown at me. They're really throwing a lot of stuff at me, so I'm just kind of taking damage, and I put down a pretty high value Divine Light. So you'll notice that I don't really do a lot with my sword. Like I'm swinging and missing and getting CC'd a lot, thrown around a lot. Not doing a lot with the swingy action, but I'm doing a lot with my Divine Lights. And unfortunately, you can't really see that because Divine Light, as of this recording, is bugged and not showing damage text or healing text. But you can take a look at the healing by going back and watching the buffs. I have a healing, it's called Paladin Critical Healing. That buff, it stacks up to like 50. So every single stack of that buff I get is a heal that hits somebody. And my healing percentage, my healing crit percentage is 50% at this point. And anytime it's above 25 stacks, it's at 50%. So doing some pretty nutty healing there. I wish I could see it, but unfortunately, bugged. But first fight, not the greatest. These fights, in terms of my performance, aren't really that great. This is my first time playing in a while, and uncoordinated Zergs, which is what this is, not the best for Templar. Templar really shines when you've got teammates that are playing around you. But I wanted to show some gameplay, so here we go. Same thing here. Just gonna run in, try to be the guy that takes the fire, put down a Divine Light here, and people getting thrown around, whatever. Rooted. Yeah, this is not the Templar wheelhouse where you've got people everywhere, big open field. I much prefer the previous situation where it's a fort. Everybody's in a nice close space fighting over an objective. This is not my favorite, but you can still do all right if your healers are good about calling out flankers. And you'll see later in this clip I retreat and I'll pull back and put down some Divine Lights. Divine Light healing is still getting some decent stacks from that. Nowhere near as good as the fort though. So in terms of server performance, the server performance in terms of latency is significantly better. Most of the lag that I've encountered so far has been memory leak bugs or like optimization, like frame rate stuff when it's just crazy with siege engines firing and tons of particle effects. The server issues, it might be too early to say, but from what we've seen so far, in terms of the lag and your abilities taking like 5 seconds to go off, like it would normally, when you get this many people, I haven't had any issues with that. Occasionally you'll see somebody rubber band like that. It's not exactly fucking completely smooth, but they've really done a lot in terms of the server performance. So anyway, not really much else to say on this. Just kind of cleaning up these stragglers here. Yeah, see, it's too much open field. I'm just running around not doing anything as a Templar. But whatever. Templar is most definitely the feast or famine class of Crowfall. It's the sickest class in the game, or it's the worst class in the game. It's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles. Now let's get into the final clip where I will show that I am the most dominant Templar in all of Crowfall. We were doing a siege snap test, and it was determined that there was a memory leak. I have 64 gigs of RAM from video editing. These guys do not. So, target dummy time. This is hilarious. I know I'm scum. You don't have to tell me. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. So anyway, I'm playing the DPS Templar here. It's pretty wild. I really wish you could see the Divine Light damage numbers. I think I kill like 10, 15 people here. I don't know. There's people in the sky. If you go back and look, there's like 5 people in the air that I end up killing. So, DPS Templar, pretty legit. You can hit some pretty hard executes. Look at this execute spam. Like, that's pretty wacky. It's pretty good for a fucking tank character. So, anyway, Crowfall, still buggy, as you can see. Still some lag issues, but at this point, the game is enough of a game. When 5.8 goes live, I think I'll be playing it full time. It seems like it's pretty damn close. Once some of the performance stuff gets ironed out, once some of the other bugs get ironed out, there's scoreboards now. You can look at that top right there. You'll see a scoreboard. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to put some more hours in on the Templar, especially the Myrmidon. I'm really excited to start playing that again. Really like those changes they made there. So yeah, give it a shot. If you're interested in Crowfall, be sure to sign up with my affiliate link down below. If you sign up with that link, you get into the beta test for free when those open up. And you also get 5% off anything you buy. So I really appreciate all the people that have signed up with that. There have been thousands of you that have signed up through that link. That is crazy to me how many of you guys have signed up with that. So I'm excited that you guys are excited for this game. Yeah, so expect to see a lot more Crowfall now that look at all the people I killed. Look at all those graveyards. That's amazing. I'm a real piece of shit. Isn't it great that I'm like the lead like video creator? Just fucking sportsmanship be damned. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, it's a test server. It doesn't fucking matter. This shit doesn't matter. So, check out Crow. I like how I'm plugging Crowfall with like literally the most bullshit you've ever seen in a video game. Like they can't do anything. They're just frozen. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Sign up with my link. Even if you don't buy the game, at least sign up to get in the free beta waves when that starts. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you next time.